A little while ago, I made a video where I ranked every 2D Mario power-up. Today, I'm going to be ranking every 3D Mario power-up. The rules will be the same as before. I won't count a power-up appearing in a different game as a separate power-up, and I will not count Yoshi since he functions very differently from the rest of the power-ups. With that said, let's go. Number 34, Wing Cap. I do have some personal beef with this power-up. Technically, it is useful as you need it to complete certain stars, but I'm still putting it in dead last because of how excruciating it is to control. No power-up should ever feel this annoying to control. The Wing Cap is incredibly hard to steer with, seemingly for no reason. And not only that, to keep your speed up, you have to dive down very precisely to build up enough speed without losing a ton of your height. The Wing Cap barely feels like flying due to its clunky controls. I loathe any star that requires me to use this. And even though the DS version of the Wing Cap is technically different because it's not really a cap per se, I'm still counting the two of them as one because they function the exact same. Number 33, Star, another iconic Mario power-up. The star will grant you a few seconds of invincibility. It can be somewhat helpful, but I'm ranking it poorly because it only lasts for a few seconds. It's pretty much just used to kill enemies really fast. Number 32, Mushroom, the most iconic Mario power-up. It does the same thing it always does. It gives Mario an extra hit point and the ability to break brick blocks. Man, say that 10 times fast. It's not an over-the-top power-up, but it does have to be here. Number 31, Mario Cap. I'm not sure if you'd even count this as a power-up, but I'll talk about it anyway. The Mario Cap can be found around certain maps in Mario 64 DS, and transforms either Yoshi, Luigi, or Wario into Mario. This allows the characters to utilize Mario's abilities. I kinda find this one pointless though, since if you want to use Mario's moveset, you could just play as Mario. This power-up really doesn't need to exist. Number 30, Wario Cap. It's the same thing except you turn into Wario. The only reason I'm ranking it better than the Mario Cap is that it's slightly more convenient since no one wants to play as Wario in this game, so it's helpful when you do need him for a star. Number 29, Luigi Cap. This is the best of the caps because Luigi has undeniably the best moveset in this game. Aside from having to use Mario to fight Bowser, there's never a reason not to play as Luigi in this game. He's way too OP. Number 28, Goomba Mask. This is an interesting power-up. When wearing the Goomba Mask, enemies won't attack Mario. This is kinda cool, but it's only so useful. You can't really do all that much with it. Number 27, Light Box. You finally have a way to kill Boos without a star. If you point the light box at a Boo or Peepa for long enough, they'll evaporate into nothing. I guess their weakness was really light this whole time. Even though there's light found within the mansions they're in. Yeah, don't overthink it. Number 26, Spring Mushroom. Everyone really hates the way this power-up controls, but I've never been too bothered by it. The Spring Mushroom lets Mario bounce really high up. It's not utilized a ton in Mario Galaxy, but I think it's fairly fun to control. It does have its faults, and definitely could have been refined a bit more, but I think it's an underrated power-up at the end of the day. Number 25, Double Cherry. I find it so funny that this power-up only exists because of a developer error. When testing one of the levels, a developer accidentally loaded 2 Marios into the game, which is what inspired the Double Cherry. Each time you collect a Double Cherry, a new clone of Mario appears. Each one will follow your inputs, so it's in your best interest to keep them together. The Double Cherry is more meant to be a goofy addition rather than something that's actually useful. Although it can be really OP if you also have a Fire Flower equipped. You can easily obliterate anything in your path. Number 24, Koopa Shell. While the Koopa Shell can be a little hard to control, it is fun to use. The speed can be a little clunky, but it's not too hard to speed up and slow down. You can also jump fairly high too. On top of all that, you can ride it over water, quicksand, and more. You just have to be extra careful not to crash, or else you're done for. Number 23, Turbo Nozzle. I'm not sure if anyone counts the flood nozzles as power-ups, but I think it makes sense to. The Turbo Nozzle allows Mario to move at a very fast speed. It's a great idea for a power-up, but it's not used to its full potential. It's very hard to steer while using it, which is a big reason why I have it ranked poorly on the list. Plus, only a handful of shines utilize this power-up. I feel bad for the Turbo Nozzle. Its counterpart got to shine, no pun intended, in the game's final boss, but this one is just kinda forgettable. Number 22, Vanish Cap. The Vanish Cap is a fairly simple power-up. When you put it on, Mario can phase through certain walls. It's not that crazy, but I can't say anything bad about it either. Which is why I'm not ranking it super well, but also not at the bottom of the list either. Number 21, Boo Mushroom. This power-up functions fairly similarly to the Vanish Cap, except Mario can fly around like a boo. By shaking the Wii Remote, Mario will become invisible for a few seconds, which allows him to phase through certain walls. To get out of this form, all you have to do is touch light. I'm ranking this power-up better than the Vanish Cap simply because you can fly with it. Number 20, Rocket Nozzle. The name is pretty self-explanatory. By charging up the Flood Pack, you can blast off like a rocket. The Rocket Nozzle comes in handy for quite a few shines, including the final boss. I always thought it'd be cool if you could combine the Turbo and Rocket Nozzles, even if it was only for one shine. Doing that would open up a ton of possibilities for Mario's moveset. Number 19, Rock Mushroom. This power-up's pretty fun to use. By shaking the Wii Remote, Mario will turn into a rock and blast forward, destroying most of what's in his path. The missions that use this power-up are all super fun and gratifying. The only reason I have this power-up ranked where it is because it can be a little hard to control, and it's only applicable to certain missions. Number 18, Spin Drill. Similar to the Rock Mushroom, the Spin Drill is only useful in a handful of missions, but the ones that do require it are incredibly fun. This is one of the very few Mario power-ups that can be used to make creative puzzle levels. Mario can drill his way through an entire planet with this thing. Figuring out where you need to line yourself up and then destroying the ground beneath you makes this power-up a joy to use. Number 17, Ice Flower. While you may not be able to shoot ice balls like in the 2D Mario games, the Ice Flower still has its perks. The Ice Flower allows you to walk on water as your feet turn the water to ice in a second. This power-up can be super convenient in water levels, but considering you need to have water around you for it to be useful, there are lots of better power-ups on this list. Number 16, Cannon Box. By putting the cannon box on your head, you can shoot cannonballs infinitely at the enemies around you. When used right, you can create some big destruction with this thing. You can let it shoot automatically, or you can charge it up to make a big explosion. The cannon box is a highly underrated power-up in my opinion. Number 15, Boomerang Flower. The Boomerang Flower lets you throw a boomerang to kill multiple enemies at once. It's a very simple and convenient power-up. The only downside to it is that you can only throw one boomerang at once, and you have to wait for it to return before you can throw it again, so you can't just spam boomerangs everywhere, which is kinda lame. Number 14, Fire Flower. Screw only being able to throw one boomerang at a time, you can spam fireballs as much as you want with the Fire Flower. The Fire Flower is a super iconic power-up in the Mario series. All you gotta do is spam fireballs to kill enemies. You can't go wrong with this one. Number 13, Metal Cap. Metal Mario's debut appearance. By wearing the Metal Cap, Mario becomes invulnerable to most things. He can kill enemies by touching them, breathe underwater, withstand toxic gas, and more. The Metal Cap will forever be one of the most iconic Mario power-ups. Number 12, Power Flower. I debated on counting this as its own power-up since it just has the same effects as all the caps from the original Mario 64. But since it can make Mario balloon and let Yoshi breathe fire, I thought I'd make it its own thing. Neither of these abilities are that over the top, but having them combined with the Vanish and Metal Cap makes the Power Flower a handy power-up. Number 11, Tanuki Leaf. The only issue with this power-up is that you can no longer fly with it. Although this sorta makes sense considering a lot of the levels could be easily cheesed by doing that. Nonetheless, the Tanuki Leaf is still very useful as you can glide with ease and kill enemies with your tail. Controlling Mario's movement in the air with this thing is a million times better, making it one of the best 3D Mario power-ups out there. Number 10, Tanuki Suit. It's the same thing as the Tanuki Leaf, except when you ground pound, Mario will turn into a statue. This minor improvement can come in handy at times, especially if you're surrounded by a bunch of enemies. Number 9, Mega Mushroom. The Mega Mushroom only appears a small number of times in 3D World, but it's just as destructive as ever. You can blast your way through bricks, enemies, you name it. These few seconds of chaos can allow you to blow through a decent chunk of a level. The reason this power-up isn't ranked as well as it was in the 2D power-ups video is that it only lasts a few seconds, and considering 3D levels are much bigger and longer than 2D ones, it becomes far less helpful. In New Super Mario Bros., once you get this thing, the level might as well have been over. But here, you can only do so much damage before it wears off. It's still an awesome power-up, there's just more practical ones ahead of it. Number 8, Propeller Box. I'm sure many of you weren't expecting this of all power-ups to be in the top 10, but why? You gain a ton of height when using it, it's easy to use, you can glide after propelling upwards, and there's usually tons found in one area. This may not be the most glamorous of power-ups, but it gets the job done well. Number 7, Bee Mushroom. This power-up lets Mario fly like a bee, just a lot slower. The Bee Mushroom is super useful, making it one of the best power-ups in the 3D Mario lineup. The only issue with it is that Mario ascends rather slowly, which can feel a bit awkward. Otherwise, this power-up is useful in just about any situation. You can even use it to climb up walls of honey. Obviously, most areas don't have walls of honey, but it's a nice feature nonetheless. Number 6, Cat Bell. With the Cat Bell, Mario can climb walls like, well, a cat. This ability comes in handy on so many occasions. It's so easy to skip areas, find secrets, and do all kinds of things with this power-up. You can even scratch your enemies with your sharp claws. This power-up is as iconic as it is for a reason. You can't go wrong with it. Number 5, Lucky Cat Bell. Similar to the Tanuki suit, this is just the cat bell, but when Mario ground pounds, he'll become a statue. All this does is make an already amazing power-up amazing-er. Number 4, Cloud Flower. Quite possibly the most broken power-up in all of Mario. Not only can Mario spawn cloud platforms below him with the shake of a Wii remote, he has increased floatiness if that didn't make movement easy enough. This is a power-up that is definitely used to its full potential. Every time it appears, it makes for a fun mission. By far one of the best power-ups out there. Number 3, Red Star. It sucks that a power-up this good only appears in 2 levels, and one of them's the hub world. The Red Star is so much easier to control than the wing cap. All you have to do is move Mario in the direction you want to go. It can still be a bit hard to control at times, but it's a huge improvement from the wing cap and is arguably the best flying power-up in all of Mario. I get they couldn't have included it in too many missions because of how overpowered it would be, but there could have been some workarounds to make it happen. Even if there were like 2 or 3 more missions, it would have been nice. Regardless, this is a list based on the usefulness of each power-up, not how big of an impact it had on the game. Whether you like it or not, the Red Star on its own is a super useful power-up. It just didn't get used nearly enough. Number 2, Super Leaf. In the 2D Mario power-ups video, I talked about how I'm not a huge fan of this power-up because it renders the game pointless. If you die too many times in 3D Land or 3D World, the game gives you the Super Leaf, which gives Mario a Tanuki Leaf, which also makes him invincible. This takes the challenge out of the game entirely. But of course, this is a list based on the usefulness of the power-ups, and making you invincible while also being able to glide through the air is pretty damn useful. Number 1, Super Bell. It's the same as the Super Leaf, except with a cat bell instead. I personally like the ability to climb walls more than being able to glide, so I'm putting this one at number 1. The Super Bell can only be found within Bowser's Fury by scanning the Cat Mario amiibo. At least it's an optional feature rather than a last resort. But it's annoying that it's only accessible through amiibo. I mean, most people probably wouldn't use it anyway, but still, come on Nintendo. And that's every 3D Mario power-up ranked. You may notice I left out the Giga Cat Bell and the P-Wings. The Giga Cat Bell was left out because that more so triggers a boss fight rather than giving Mario a new ability. And I left out the P-Wings because I see them as being more of an item than a power-up. There are obviously a few more obscure ones I didn't think were worth including on this list for one reason or another. Anyway, thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please do consider subscribing as it really helps the channel grow. Okay, bye.